imperial Islamic societies consisted of the Ottoman, Safavid, and Mughal empires. These empires had similar economic policies and embraced many different religious and ethnic groups. However, the physical demographic makeups of each empire were ethnically and religiously different.
Although Muslim theorists believed that women should not play a role in public affairs, they actually were very important when it came to managing the Islamic empires. Many of the emperors, just like Genghis Khan, in previous times had great respect for their mother and their first wife. Women related to the emperors also played an important political role. For example, they were able to control and have authority over things such as revolts and social affairs.
Throughout these Islamic empires, agriculture played a major role in their economy. They generally relied on crops of wheat and rice, which they used for themselves and for trading purposes. The trading of these crops through merchants helped to introduce new agriculture, such as maize, potatoes, and tomatoes. In addition to this, the Columbian Exchange strongly encouraged the consumption of coffee and tobacco in the Ottoman and Safavid empires. Coffee was used for business purposes, such as in coffee houses, and tobacco was used for medicinal purposes. However, both of these items ended up being banned in a way. Tobacco smelled bad and was dangerous, and coffee was deemed illegal by religious leaders.
The populations of these three empires were fairly large and generally increased over time. The Safavid Empire grew at a slower pace, by about 1.5 million every 100 years at its start. The Ottoman population surged as it grew by almost 20 million in a 100-year time frame, from 1500 to 1600. However, after 1600, its population decreased back down to 24 million due to loss of territory. The Mughal Empire had a whopping 115 million in 1600, and that number gradually continued to increase.
Trade was also a key factor in the Imperial Islamic empires. The Ottomans and Safavids were a large believer in trade. However, the Mughals didn't pay as much attention to it. For instance, the Ottomans granted special trading concessions to merchants from England and France to cement alliances against common enemies in Spain and Central Europe. The Safavids traded on a regular basis with the English East India Company and were therefore able to have gunpowder weapons introduced.
Each of the Imperial Islamic empires were religiously and ethnically diverse. The Ottoman Empire consisted of large numbers of Christians and Jews. The Safavid Empire consisted of large Zoroastrian and Jewish communities, as well as Christians in the Outer Caucasus. The Mughal Empire, the most diverse out of the three, consisted of Hindus as well as Jews, Christians, Zoroastrians, and devotees of syncretic faiths.